You had a question about pumping. You want to know how often you should pump. And the frequency and length of pumping is really going to depend on the end goal. For example, some moms pump just to relieve fullness after their baby's eaten and to prevent engorgement. Their baby's satisfied, they've gotten enough to eat, but they didn't fully drain the breast. And when you're able to pump this extra milk, you can also store it and use it at a later date when you're going to be away from your baby. A second reason mothers choose to pump is to stimulate milk production, because the more you pump or nurse your baby, essentially the more you empty the breast, the more your body is stimulated to make more milk. So there's a few different ways you can go about this. You can just pump after your baby's already satisfied and eaten. You can do power pumping sessions, or you can also just sneak in extra pumping sessions in between your baby's feedings. And again, you can store that milk and use it at a later date. A third reason mothers might choose to pump is like in your situation. You nurse your baby and then she doesn't seem satisfied, so you pump and get more milk and feed it to her in a bottle. And a lot of mothers choose to do a mix between actually nursing at the breast and pumping and giving express breast milk. That's totally fine because you're both still getting the benefits. And if that's working for you, then that's great. But if you want to try to get your baby to nurse more at the breast, then you can try nursing her like you always do, and then instead of pumping and giving her a bottle of express breast milk, you can try just doing skin to skin for a few minutes, and then try relatching her. One of the reasons why your little girl might prefer to drink a bottle at the end is because some babies get a little bit lazy. They have to suck a long time and wait for another letdown, whereas a bottle is instant flow. So if she just sits there and kind of gets lazy at the breast, your milk isn't going to let down until you start pumping again. So if you can get her more excited about nursing by doing skin to skin and relatching her, that might fix the problem. Now, you also mentioned that you're pumping slightly less than you used to after she eats, and it might just be that she's becoming a more efficient emptier. She's getting more from you when she nurses. Supply probably isn't a problem because you're getting more out after she eats, and so obviously it's there for her. She's just not taking advantage of it and wanting it later in bottle form. So if what you've been doing is working for you, that's totally fine. You can continue with it. But if you're still worried about supply, then there are things you can do to try to increase your supply. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that she's happy, healthy, and gaining the appropriate amount of weight. So watch the number of wet diapers that she's having, and as long as there's 6 a day and she's having regular dirty diapers and she's gaining the appropriate amount of weight as determined by your pediatrician, then whatever she's getting is enough, and you can have confidence in that. If you have more questions for me in the future, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.